Hi, beautiful Black women. My name is Abby. In this video, we're talking about something that I think is very important, which is your right to embrace being soft, gentle, and womanly without shame. We're going to unpack why society fears Black women who choose to be feminine, how the Black community often fails to protect your gentle energy, the beautiful diversity of what femininity can look like, why choosing to be delicate is a strength rather than a weakness, and why it's absolutely necessary to protect your peace and womanhood. Unfortunately, society has always been deeply uncomfortable with the idea of a soft, feminine Black woman. Femininity, when embodied by a Black woman, completely disrupts the stereotypes they've worked tirelessly to place upon us. The angry Black woman, the strong Black woman, the loud, aggressive, masculine Black woman, those stereotypes are deeply ingrained because they justify society's harsh treatment of us. When a Black woman chooses to be soft and feminine, it confuses society. They cannot reconcile this image with their perception of Black women, a perception crafted to diminish our humanity. From childhood, we're taught to be strong, resilient, independent, and always ready to fight. And while these are valuable survival traits, they frequently come at a cost. They cost our peace, our joy, our vulnerability, and our inherent femininity. Being soft as a Black woman in this world isn't just unusual, it's revolutionary, it's powerful, it's defiant. It forces society to confront the uncomfortable reality of their biases, their stereotypes, and their cruelty. Your softness disrupts their narratives. Your softness challenges their comfort zone, and that is exactly why they resent it. Now, I know that this will hurt some feelings, but it has to be said. If you're a Black woman, then what I'm about to say to you, you've heard it before and you know it's true. The Black community as a whole does not nurture or protect Black women. Of course, there are individual exceptions, your mom, your sisters, your close girlfriends, but as a collective, the Black community has repeatedly demonstrated that it does not value or cherish Black femininity. We see this clearly in the rampant colorism, where lighter-skinned women are consistently placed on a pedestal, while dark-skinned women face harsh ridicule and neglect. We see it in the featureism, where certain facial features, often those closer to Eurocentric, are praised, and our broader noses, full lips, and authentic Black features are criticized. We see it in the relentless texturism, where looser curls are adored, while tighter, kinkier 4C textures are mocked, misunderstood, and shamed. And yes, I hate to constantly bring up the isms because it hurts every single time, but pretending they don't exist will never heal us. They do exist, and sometimes it can be harsh. These isms shape our everyday experiences, our self-perceptions, and how the world sees us. Step outside with your hair in its natural 4C state and notice the reactions. Notice how quickly you might be insulted by the very community that claims to protect you. You might be asked, "What are you going to do with your hair today?" As if I didn't do my hair before I stepped outside. It's just a 4C afro. Notice the difference in attention, affection, and protection given to women who don't look like you, even within your own Black spaces. This is profoundly hurtful because the truth is your beauty is consistently dismissed, ridiculed, and rejected by people who look exactly like you. When you choose softness in a community that constantly pushes you to be hard and defensive, you are stepping into territory that Black women have historically been denied. You as a Black woman being feminine is a right, a gift, a treasure, one your community rarely allows you to experience without judgment or ridicule. It's really important to acknowledge something that often gets ignored. It's hard to be soft and feminine in the Black community. It is extremely difficult to walk in softness when you're constantly being harassed, sexualized, and even threatened by the very men in your own community. It's hard to be delicate when you have to keep your guard up just to get to your car. It's hard to express grace when you're walking past a group of men hoping that they don't follow you, catcall you, or get aggressive if you don't respond the way that they want you to. There's a constant tension in trying to embrace softness as a Black woman in an environment where you're always having to scan for danger, especially from Black men. And I know that's hard to hear, but it's the truth. The level of disrespect, entitlement, and unchecked aggression that so many of us experience from Black men is exhausting. You don't feel safe enough to be soft. You don't feel seen enough to be vulnerable. You don't feel protected enough to let your guard down. Black femicide is real. The rates at which Black women are being harmed or killed by Black men are horrifying, and yet it's barely talked about. So when people ask why Black women seem guarded, cold, or overly independent, it's because for many of us, being soft has felt dangerous. Being vulnerable sometimes isn't met with love. It's being met with violence, with dismissal, with trauma. Let's tackle a common misconception head on. You as a Black woman embracing your feminine self does not equal white supremacy. Wearing dresses, heels, perfume, makeup, and expressing gentleness or being delicate does not mean that you're mimicking whiteness. It simply means you're embracing your womanhood. Too often, Black women who choose softness, subtle beauty, or gentleness are accused of betraying their race, accused of trying to align with European beauty standards. But that assumption is fundamentally flawed and insulting. Femininity belongs to all women. It's not owned by white women. You're not imitating or performing. You're expressing an aspect of yourself that the world continuously tries to suppress. Black femininity existed long before European standards became the oppressive norm. Our beauty is ancient, diverse, and deeply rooted in cultures that celebrated women in all forms. Delicate, bold, quiet, expressive. You reclaiming femininity is not white supremacy. It's a revolutionary act of reclaiming your humanity. It's also important to recognize that being feminine is not limited to one aesthetic. The baddie aesthetic, the BBLs, the 40-inch bust downs, dramatic curves is very beautiful, powerful, and valid for those who embrace it. But it's not the only valid expression of Black femininity. Not every Black woman wants that look. Some of us prefer braids, natural hair, shorter haircuts, minimal makeup, and soft colors. And that's also beautiful. Those expressions of femininity are equally valid, equally powerful, and equally deserving of respect. Black femininity is not a monolith. It's diverse, inclusive, and expansive. It belongs to every single Black woman in the form that feels authentic to her. We need to embrace and validate every form of Black femininity and not police it. I promise you, your softness is not weakness, it is revolutionary strength. Society and the Black community often push the stereotype of the strong Black woman, but what does that stereotype actually do? It burdens you, denies you rest, steals your joy, and prevents you from ever embracing vulnerability. Choosing softness and femininity disrupts this toxic narrative. It forces the community and society to confront their exploitation and neglect of Black women. You being soft, vulnerable, and resting are powerful forms of rebellion. By refusing to stay hardened, you demand that others step up to support, protect, and respect you. You should understand that to fully embrace and protect your femininity, you might need emotional or even physical distance from communities or spaces that refuse to nurture it. Putting yourself first is never selfish. It is self-preservation. You as a Black woman deserve gentleness and never apologize for prioritizing your womanhood first. Let me clear up another huge misconception. Being soft, gentle, or nurturing as a Black woman does not mean you're being submissive to a man or giving up your independence or trying to live like some Stepford wife fantasy. That's not what being feminine means. You can be feminine for yourself, not for anyone else. Because sometimes when we talk about embracing our softer energy, people immediately assume it's for male validation, like we're doing this to attract a man or make ourselves more palatable to men who don't even like us in the first place. Let me be very clear, I don't choose to be gentle for a man. I don't choose softness for anyone but me. I do it because I want to be at peace. I want to feel beautiful. I want to show up in the world how I want to, not how society expects me to. It's not about being submissive. It's about being safe in your body. It's about finally allowing your nervous system to calm down. Because if you've been living in survival mode your whole life, choosing softness is a way of telling your body and spirit, we don't have to fight anymore. That's why I hate when men, especially on social media, start talking about feminine energy like it's a reward that they're owed. They'll say things like women today aren't feminine anymore, or women should know how to submit. No, what they're really saying is, I want a woman to shrink for me, but that's not what softness is. It's not about shrinking. It's not about silence. Softness is walking away from dysfunction. It's choosing rest over burnout. It's being gentle with yourself. It's creating a life that feels good, looks good, and moves with intention. It's saying no without guilt. It's choosing healing over hardness. And the reason this world doesn't like soft Black women is because we stop being useful to their struggle. If we're not overworked, if we're not carrying everyone else on our backs, if we're not playing mule, we become a threat to the system that profits off of our pain. So no, embracing softness doesn't mean you're about to become a pick-me. It doesn't mean you're going to start acting like a 1950s housewife. It just means you're taking your power back and finally putting yourself first. This system, this society, even your own community benefits from you not being soft, from you not being feminine, from you staying tired, angry, masculine, and hardened. Because when you're in that state, you are no longer a threat. You are controllable. You're predictable. You're exhausted. They need you to be the strong Black woman. They need you to carry everyone else, to work 2 and 3 jobs, to raise kids, to forgive your man when he cheats, to show up to the protest, to donate, to pray, to cry behind closed doors, and still go to work the next morning, still cook dinner, still hold everyone together. The minute you stop doing that, everything around you starts falling apart. That's why they mock your softness. That's why they belittle you when you start dressing up. That's why they get uncomfortable when you say, I want peace, not chaos. Because the minute a Black woman starts living for herself instead of for everyone else, this whole system starts shaking. Because when you're soft, you're unavailable for emotional labor. You're unavailable for struggle love. You're unavailable for fixing broken men. You're unavailable for being everybody's therapist, maid, or scapegoat. You become unreachable to the chaos that they've always used to control you. They might say you've changed, you're acting sedity, you're acting different, you think you're better, and you know what? Maybe you are. You're better off, you're better rested, you're better nourished, you're better aligned. Because they don't want you healed. They want you distracted. They want you tired. They want you in survival mode so bad that you don't even have time or energy to love yourself. You being soft is rebellion. Your ease is revolution. Your boundaries are divine. Femininity has been weaponized against Black women, not just ignored or denied. When Black women do try to lean into their softness, their warmth, their beauty, suddenly femininity becomes something to mock. It becomes something to degrade. And you start hearing things like, oh, you think you're better than other Black women now? She thinks she's white because she wears dresses. But let's be honest, no one says that to other races of women. When non-Black women embrace being feminine, it's expected, it's applauded, it's normal. Nobody accuses them of performing. Nobody calls it fake. Nobody makes them prove why they deserve to be treated softly. But when you do it, it becomes suspicious. It becomes a debate. It becomes another reason to strip you of your softness. And what's even worse, sometimes this weaponization comes from other women. Women who have been so deeply conditioned to see your femininity as a threat, or who are stuck in a trauma bond with survival that your peace feels offensive to them. Being feminine shouldn't be seen as a competition, and it should never be punished. You're not abandoning your Blackness by choosing ease. You're not a sellout for resting. You're not fake for liking beauty, peace, or soft luxury. You're not any less of a Black woman because you choose silence over struggle. They want you to perform pain, but you don't owe that to anyone. So to every Black woman watching this, let me say this directly. You don't have to earn rest. You don't have to justify why you want peace. You don't have to keep proving your worth by how much pain you can carry. I think you've carried enough. You're allowed to be soft, not because you've worked hard enough, not because you've been through enough, but because you are human. You're a woman. You deserve to live life without always being in defense mode. You're allowed to look feminine and look beautiful without explaining yourself. You're allowed to have standards without being called stuck up. You're allowed to say, I want ease and not feel guilty for it. You're allowed to have joy and privacy and luxury and freedom. Stop letting people who benefit from your exhaustion tell you what kind of woman you should be. Let them talk. Let them misunderstand you. Let them whisper. Because you were not put on this earth to make everyone else comfortable. You were put on this earth to be radiant, to be peaceful, to be powerful, to be gentle, to be soft. Be everything they told you a Black woman could never be. Black women, I hope you liked this video, and until my next one, I love you so, 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 so much. Bye.